Hey Clashers, and welcome back to another video. And today we want to take a look at the rank 5 players army composition because, well, that's always interesting to see how other players are attacking. And we're going to take a look at LP's army composition, who is from NY, amazing from the last qualifier. So let's take a look at that. He's running the Queen Charge Dragon Riders as well, but he's bringing a different style to this army composition. First change which he has, he is bringing over 4 superpower breakers instead of only 3, which makes it sometimes easier, especially those bases right now which have a lot of closed compartments. It's sometimes a bit risky to go in with only 3 wall breakers on that. He's bringing over more freezes as well as I'm doing. So let's just try it out. Let's see how that army is working. But the biggest change actually he is doing, he is not using the Yeti blimp, which I was running the last couple of days and weeks. So what he's using instead, at least the chat told me that, that's why I'm going to use this in this video. He used the Dragon Rider in the Slammer as well. That's what my chat told me. Apparently it's wrong, because I DM'd LP after that. I asked him, buddy, what are you running in the clan castle? And apparently he's using a dragon. But it was too late for this video, so this video will be with the Dragon Rider. It's not a big difference, to be honest, but the key thing why he's running the Dragon over the Dragon Rider in the Slammer is that, well, as soon as you're not taking down one of the heroes, you want to have something to attack those heroes, King and Queen, and the Dragon is obviously better in doing that. The next thing is, before we're starting with the attacks, since the gold pass is running out tomorrow, and obviously there are offers in the shop, if you're thinking about buying any of those, make sure to use the creator code. It's supporting us a ton. It's for use like 5 seconds or something. And if you would like to support me, this channel, everything what I'm doing, make sure to use code ITSU. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And now let's get into the attacks. I will try to really in-depth explain what you're looking out for. First off, the biggest difference in approach with attacking with a Slammer, or like with attacking with a different siege machine, is the approach. I feel like whenever I attacked with the Yeti blimp, I always went for the eagle, went for the other side of the base. But now with actually attacking with the Slammer, technically, because that's always the goal what you're looking for. You're not trying to blimp anything. You're trying to use the Slammer for something, and that's why you typically have to go for the Town Hall. The Town Hall is becoming your #1 priority. The only risky thing, the only tricky thing, which is now, is funneling. You do not have the Baby Dragon whatsoever with the funnel, and you do not have too many things which you could get rid of to actually make space for bringing a Baby Dragon. So you really need to make sure that, well, you're investing all of your resources correctly. That's what I'm trying to do right now. This Tesla is going down last second to actually push my queen into the angle where I want her to go. Using the rage now, trying to get into the single Inferno Tower. And one thing which I learned, especially at the beginning of the season, where a lot of like interesting people are around, I want to put it like this, with the ton of single Inferno Towers, which is stupid. But hey, that's how it is. This freeze composition is just way better, especially charging bases like this. Just take a look at this example right now. With only bringing like 2 freezes or something, I think I would struggle quite a bit on this base. But with having so many freezes, it's really easy to keep up with. And the next thing is that when you're actually using the Dragon Riders, typically you don't need those rages. They're dealing already a lot of damage, so a rage for a Dragon Rider is not worth it that much. But being able to freeze scatters, freeze the eagle, freeze the Town Hall possibly if it's back in some way, it's way more efficient than bringing another rage. And typically you're not really running out of rages whatsoever. Now, the great thing about this is that you have another tool to push your Dragon Riders deeper inside the base, and that's kind of cool overall. So right now I'm just pushing everything in, making sure everything is getting into the base. Not really sure, I feel like I should have already used the ability of the Warden by this point, but still like trying to figure out when is the best case. Typically I'm waiting for those black mines to pop up, then to use my Warden ability. That's obviously not always the best thing to do. I think in this one would have been better to use it early. But either way, Warden ability now in to defend the air defense, defend the back end. And see, it's looking pretty good. The power boost you have with that Slammer for the Dragon Riders is pretty impressive. Like, I already noticed, like, from the get-go, a huge difference. And obviously, yes, you can use the Yeti blimp as well and transform it into, like, a Slammer. But the Yetis itself, they feel kind of useless. But with having the dragons like coming out at some point from the Slammer, you have another sort of Kokoduns as well for your Dragon Riders. And this is just so much stronger. I feel like especially with Queen Charge Lalo and Queen Charge Dragon Riders, they're benefiting just so much more from a Slammer filled with like Dragon or Dragon Rider or something in there. So yeah, I think it's pretty strong. And I have to say, I mean, those bases look like crap, you have to say, right? Like, those bases look really, really bad. But I have to say, and I think everyone knows that same feeling as well, beginning of the season is always a struggle because those traps, those bases feel so random. So everything what you have learned over the years, over the weeks, over whatever, it is completely different. But hey, yet again, different base. And the next thing what we're going for is going to be for the Town Hall. Like I said, this is the #1 priority right now. If you can charge that, that's the first thing out of the way, which is super important. The other way around, if you're taking diamond-shaped bases, you can still go from the other side of the base. But on ring bases or other classic bases, you always want to go for the Town Hall first. At least that's what I felt like so far is the most efficient way. This builder hut is randomly on the outside, but either way, we have another set of loons, which then should transfer nicely into our queen charge to make sure that we can trigger a couple of black mines. Next test loon is in. There is another black mine, so we caught that nice and early to make sure our healers are staying alive. I have another cocoon using that yet again just to make sure that our healers are staying safe. There it goes. And there's actually another black mine. So we caught already a ton of black mines right there. That's awesome. And now we're just charging in. Getting actually the eagle early as well is great. So whenever you're charging the Town Hall and you have the possibility of taking down the eagle first, is always nice. Because with this army composition, you typically use your heroes quite early, which means the activation point of that eagle is early as well. So you want to get that out of the way nice and early. Now the single Inferno Tower is on our queen. I'm using just the invisibility spell to protect first off my healers from the air defense, and second of all my queen from that single Inferno Tower. And at this point, yet again, those freezes, those mass freezes are saving my day because, like I said, typically before that I was running 2 freezes and 1 invisibility spell, which was great, don't get me wrong, but with having so many freezes, it's just so much nicer to keep your queen alive, and it feels just so much smoother. Now the Dragon Riders are in, everything so far looks good. I'm using the Slender yet again to push my Dragon Riders deeper inside the base at the bottom, to make sure that they're not going to the outside. We know they're targeting defenses, so using the Slammer as a funnel option, kind of the same way as the Royal Champion, is awesome. So I think this is giving you a lot of flexibility to your army. And yeah, this was, I mean, yes, I know the base was really random, but it was actually not too bad upgraded considering that it's kind of low legends, right? So not too bad overall. We have a ton of rages left because the queen charge in the beginning was just way too strong. Just using all of the rages, and this attack is looking pretty good. And yeah, this is the biggest change, basically. The approach how you queen charge onto a base with using a different siege machine. Both is working. Like Yeti Blimp and the Slammer, both is working. I feel like the Yeti Blimp is easier to execute, but the, well, like the Slammer, I feel like is stronger, but it's harder to execute. So it's up to you to think about what is your priority. Next base. This base, obviously not that well upgraded with those level 1 walls in the core, but I think this base layout, the design itself, is something which might be at the, like, higher in the rankings in there as well. One thing which I have seen a couple of times with people queen charge Lalo attacking actually, but I feel like the same approach could be done with yeah, queen charge Dragon Rider. So what I see typically is you're trying to charge into the direction of the Town Hall on those diamond shaped bases and using the Royal Champion basically as a blimp, basically as the replacement for the Yeti Blimp. And that's it. Then you try to wall break the queen into the first compartment, or into the middle compartment actually, trying to get her in there. And then the next goal is going to be get the king into the Town Hall compartment. What this does, and with having so many wall breaks, you typically are going to be able to wall break into 3 compartments. The first compartment is where the Inferno Tower was standing. The second compartment is where the queen is supposed to go in. The third compartment is going to be the Town Hall compartment itself. And then you have one more wall break, which you had, like, which I had, for example, before, which I had not. And I was relying on my king to get through a wall with the Yak, which is possible, but it's quite risky if there are any Tesla coming up whatsoever. So with the next wall break, I can get easily access now into the core, which is basically melting those bases, because those bases have no chance of defending that. Like, as soon as I got into the core, I have access to the single Inferno Tower, to the next expos, to everything, and the pathing for the Dragon Riders is just going to be incredible OP. Now the king obviously taking down the Town Hall, everything is looking really good for us. Queen is now going in, and there we go. There's the next wall break going into the base, into the core, and then just putting everything in there. The queen using her ability just because we have, and then just clean up in behind using the headhunters to take down the defending royal champion. As I said, in those attacks, I used the Dragon Rider on offense in the Slammer, but especially if you're running the Dragon, it's way easier to get rid of heroes, which is really nice and easy. And yeah, I mean, yes, obviously the base was not max, but at the same time, I don't think there would be a huge difference. Power-wise, it's a huge overkill. The only thing which might be a problem is time. But hey, even that should be totally alright. We have a ton of freezes for the back end. We have yet again another rage which we can use for the back end. And that's pretty much it. So you can see power-wise, it was a huge overkill. I'm actually raging up my Loon just to make sure that the air defense is going down nice and quickly. Freezing yet again. And that's it. The base is gone. And like I said, this approach on diamond-shaped bases typically works really well. Yes, you're sacrificing your royal champion early on, which is not the greatest, but you're taking down the second layer Inferno Tower. Sometimes the heroes like the Queen or Royal Champion is just closed by the multi-Inferno Tower, which is totally fine, because this means you can just use a Freeze or a Headhunter to support your Royal Champion. And hey, you took down one of the defending air heroes nice and early, which is already a key thing and already a nice thing. This one was a last second thing because, as I said, I think I started just a bit too late with the Dragon Riders, but power-wise it was a huge overkill. So I think I really like the strategy. I will stick to that just a little bit, try and see. And we actually got a back-to-back perfect day with this attack strategy. So really, really nice start into the new season. Actually, the funny thing about this is that we're number 26 in Germany with the double back-to-back perfect. This is showing how random the start of the season is. But hey, either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.